This is Dean, and we are
GrassRoots Living.
Today, and for the next few weeks, we're going to be talking about social distancing. How you do it, especially when there's so many people around you, or just the people that are around you don't seem to understand what social distancing is. And at this point, you're thinking to yourself, whether it's mandated or not, I got to get out of Dodge, right? However, even though you're really good at adulting, there's some things that you have just never done, don't know how to do.
Well, we've had a lot of experience over the last 10 years living and playing off-grid.
Yeah, we do it just for fun.
As a matter of fact, just for the enjoyment and challenge of it, we've spent a lot of time living out of the back of the truck, living in a tent, living in various types of RVs.
Living in a tiny house, living in a tiny camper.
Yeah, living in the back of the shell of a truck.
Yeah, so we've had a ton of different crazy experiences just because we're goofy like that, and we just like to play off-grid. So we have inadvertently gained a lot of knowledge and experience with this kind of stuff. So through all this, we've discovered that whether you're short on cash or have money to spare, or you're an outdoor minimalist or a city person that likes the finer things in life, if you're truly wanting to get away from people for a while, there's some skills and resources that will work for you. So even though Dean and I usually focus our videos on RV travel and RV life, we're going to take the next few videos and focus on some of these skills and resources. Now, we usually post every Tuesday night, but for the next few videos, we're going to be getting these videos out to you as quickly as possible. So make sure that you go ahead and subscribe and hit all notifications so that you know when those come out. Okay. Some of the topics that we're going to be covering over the next few videos.
We're going to talk about sanitation, water management, your energy needs, what to do in your free time. Just a lot of different topics that we have.
Maybe even what to pack, where to go. You don't have to be a fanatical prepper to just want to get away for a while. So we're going to keep these videos super simple, fun, and lighthearted. So we encourage you to come along with us and see how anybody, even you, can get off-grid and just escape the rat race for a while.
All right, today, since toilet paper, or the lack thereof, it seems to be on everybody's mind, we're going to be talking about sanitation.
Fun topic. So human waste is kind of a disgusting topic, but it's one that everybody thinks about, obviously. And unbeknownst to most, there are actually a lot of different ways to go potty, or locations.
Yeah, lots of options.
A lot of options. So today we're going to share 7 of those options with you. And we encourage you to make sure that you stay all the way to the end, because one of the options we're sharing today, we've never seen before.
Never have.
I came up with it in my goofy little brain. If anybody else has ever done it, they certainly haven't made it public. I've never seen it. So stay to the end so you can find out what that little trick is.
Okay, so many of the people that subscribe to our channel have campers. It's just the nature of the beast. And we're going to handle a lot of different things, not just RVers, but I'll go all the way to tenters. All right, so one of the obvious things that you can do, and we sometimes do it, is Moochdocking. So you just find a friend, somebody that will be able to put you up for a while. Someone that you may not be able to go into their house because you are social distancing, but they don't mind if you use some of the things that are available. So many houses have what's called a clean out. It's just a way to get to the sewer system from the outside, not too far away from the outside of their house. So all we're going to do, if you do have a standard sewer hose, just take it, drop it right into the sewer clean out, and you're set for sewer, just as if you were at a regular RV park. As we said earlier, we lived in a tiny house for a few years, and we had no access to an actual sewer system. So we ended up getting a Nature's Head composting toilet. Now, it is kind of pricey. It's a little under $1,000, but it served its purpose well. Basically, this is how it's set up. It's got a couple of holes to the front, which is where all of the urine will drain. It falls into this little bucket right here. About every 2 days or so, sometimes 3 days, we'd have to take it out and toss it out. For solids, there's a little trap door that pops through, makes that little noise, and it drops into an entire basket here filled about a third of the way up with peat moss. The peat moss will dehydrate the solids and then allow it to be churned up into a composting material. That's something that you would need to do probably about once every 2 weeks. You would just empty it out and send it on to the outside. It has no stink to it. It's got a little fan that converts to an outside air outlet, and so it's as good as just a regular toilet situation.
I think it's actually better, personally, as far as smell.
Could very well be. You can actually remove this, which we did one time. We went tent camping for a couple weeks. We removed it, and we used this in our bathroom tent the entire time that we were camping those 2 weeks.
So before Dean introduces your third way to go potty or empty your potty, whatever, I'm going to show you our shower tent. We've actually had this thing for maybe 10 years. I'm not sure. It has been very, very well loved. It's a really, really good thing to have. It actually folds up. I think it folds up very easily. Dean has a hard time with it, and a lot of people think it's really tricky, so maybe I'll give you a little lesson on it later. But it folds up super tiny and just goes in this little tiny bag, and it stores really, really flat.
Okay, another thing that we've used on many of our adventures, and as I said, I worked as a scout leader for many, many years, is a simple thing like a porta-potty. It's convenient, it's easy to use, easy to empty. You simply remove the back. You pick this up, you'll twirl that off, and it has a little spout that you can drain everything with. Now you could do that inside a gas station toilet. You could go into an outhouse, a pit toilet, any of those types of things where you can dump and be able to get rid of the waste.
Also, you'll just want to make sure that you have everything ready in here that you need, such as I usually put just a random box in there, and I set the toilet paper and whatever other toiletries I need in there. And you always want to keep a trash can or just a little grocery bag in there. It's just a little bit better than dropping things down the potty, no matter what potty you're using. If it's something that can just be thrown in the trash, that's better. So make sure you have a little container in there for your trash.
All right, next on our list, see we're getting a little simpler all the time. You can buy this Lugaloo at Walmart or go online at Amazon, wherever you want to go, and just pick this up. All it does is attach to a 5-gallon bucket. Now you'll notice that I do have a liner on the inside of this. It just pops right on. You open it up, you sit down, and you do your business here. Now, a lot of people will use cat litter, which makes sense. But if you were really out in the woods and you just needed, you could just grab any dirt or sand that was available and stick it on in there, and you would have something to cover it with. Sometimes people even use ashes, but make sure they're ashes that are cold so it doesn't burn through. I don't know that from experience, I'm just saying. Okay, so a lot of people say, well, what can I do with the waste? Well, if it was a biodegradable liner, you could just dig a hole and put it in there. Otherwise, most people will just go ahead and put it in there with the cat litter or whatever they have and just take it out to the garbage somewhere. Now, some people go, that's sick. Well, diapers have the same sort of thing. So if you're in that sort of a situation and you really are far away, it's not a bad option.
All right, it's about to get slightly weird, but not too crazy, so just, hang with us. Oh, a cat. We're just gonna tell you, like, your most basic way is to cop a squat in the woods. People have been doing it forever. Now, guys are lucky, and we all know why. It's easy for them to water a tree. Girls are a little more tricky. You can have what I call a pea cup. I've had the exact, it's been washed, don't judge. I have had the exact same pea cup for, I bet, 20 years. I don't know, like forever. And we camp a lot. And I would just squat and pee, because I don't like, what if you don't want to, girls can't aim as well, right? You don't want to get your britches all wet. You just squat a little bit, not going to demonstrate. Pee in the cup, throw it out. That's one way. Okay? Then I thought I'd get fancy, and I got a sheeness. Don't judge me on the name either. It's what I call it. And that's just, you put it where it goes, and then you have a pointer, just like a guy does. Okay? I don't love it, but a lot of women use these. I bought it, I used it a couple times. I was like, this is not as cool as my pea cup. So I went back to that. But if this makes you feel a little better, if you like it, you can get one of these. They come in all shapes and sizes, and sometimes they're actually to have in your purse for when you go to a foreign country, which I've done, or like even a department store. We know certain department stores have kind of yucky bathrooms, and if you pull that out of your purse so that you don't have to sit on the toilet, that's kind of handy. But you can use this in the woods, old school. Okay, also, if you're doing a kappa squat in the woods and we're talking about solids, make sure that you dig at least 6 to 8 inches down into the ground, and make sure that if you're not carrying the toilet paper out with you, that you bury it nice and deep. It doesn't decompose as quickly as people think, and a lot of people just leave that out in the woods, and that is not okay. For the rest of us especially that show up and have to deal with that, because I won't leave it. I put on a glove, I grab it, I burn it. It's not fun, and I shouldn't have to do it, and neither should you. So make sure you dig a nice hole and drop those solids in there and take care of the toilet paper. Finally, especially if you're a girl, this is another little tip. If it's raining outside and you can't go outside, or if it's too cold and you're having to go in the tent, especially if you're just having to go pee in the middle of the night in the tent, I always used those little tricks that I showed you with my pea cup and the little sheeness. But then I realized if I would just get a super wide mouth container, I wouldn't have to make any transfers. So I found this little beauty, and it's nice and wide, so I can just go right in that and don't have to make any transfers of any liquids until the next morning when I just go toss it in the woods. You're welcome.
Okay, and this is the one that we've been telling you about from the very beginning. This is the interesting one that Shalane came up with that I really think is just spot on. As someone that worked with Scouts for so many years, I can tell you this is something that I could have used many times. So you notice the Lugaloo is still here. We've got a 5-gallon bucket. I know I just came out of here, but just want to show you this. It has
very nice
a hole in it. Okay, and if you come back over here, you'll notice that we've dug down.
And no, he wasn't really using the restroom. There's nothing in the hole. Don't be scared.
Yeah. You notice it goes down about 12 inches. So you just simply put the bucket over it. Put the Lugaloo on top of that. And it's already deposited for you. Then all you have to do is cover it in, and you're taken care of.
So it's like squatting in the woods, but it's more comfortable.
Yeah, but at least you have something to sit on.
Yeah.
Okay, now for the pro bonus tip. One of the things that we thought about is nobody would want to go and clean the inside of this thing, but you'd have to pretty regularly. But if you just take one of these, cut out the bottom of it, slide it on in, then it will keep the inside of the 5-gallon bucket clean for you. All you have to do is pick it up, toss it in the trash, you're good to go.
Remember to save your dirt.
That's right, because when you do cover it, make sure you're covering 6 to 8 inches of dirt on top of it. Pro tip number 2, if I was with a big Scouts group and I had a much bigger hole than just those tiny ones that I showed you before, you could put something like this over the top of it, cut out a small hole, and put that over the top of that little hole.
Okay, so I told you guys I was going to show you how to fold this up. It's actually really, really easy. So first of all, you're just going to kind of let it collapse. Just push it down and fold it in half. Okay, now doing this slow is always hard for me when I'm trying to show somebody how to do it, so hopefully I'll get it right the first time. Usually I do it in fast motion and it's super easy, but we'll see. So you just roll it up like a taco, or fold it up like a taco. Okay, so I got a taco here. I'm gonna put it together, put it on its side, push this in, and then it's just gonna kind of do it by itself, so don't fight it. It's just gonna kind of roll together. And so it looks like that. And it's super easy. You just put it right in this bag, which I'm not gonna do because I don't usually do that by myself. Dean helps me with it. You can do it by yourself though, but if you have a bag holder, you put it in the bag. That's all, super easy. Okay, we hope you enjoyed this video today. And like I said, even though we usually just post on Tuesdays, make sure you hit the subscribe because they're gonna be coming out a lot more often for the next few videos, and we want you to make sure that you don't miss any of those. Yeah? So in these crazy times, we hope that you guys keep your chin up, keep your smile on, and until next time, this is GrassRoots Living, reminding you to get down to the grassroots of what makes you happy and live your love.
We're thinking of you, and we'll see you next time.
Peace out.